Well, congratulations. Scott counted late in the game, and it was 34 days since your last victory. So I know this one has to feel good. Maybe it was the shoes. I told these guys I thought the coaching staff brought your best shoe game of the year by far.
Of the year?
I love these. I think these are great.
Yeah, I like them too. I do.
Very nice.
I sent the guys the staff. I sent the staff a photo of Mike Tomlin. We call this the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There you go.
I'm trying to do my best Mike Tomlin imitation. I mean, the dude does nothing but win.
That's right. That's right. Well, hey, let's talk about this one for a second. I mean, if I were to tell you coming in that Alston and Norris would combine to go 2 for 10, but that Jamero Wilson would score 11 off the bench, and Jacob Hudson would give you 10 with 3 rebounds and a block. Probably hard for you to believe at that point, but talk about what those guys were able to do today and the lift they gave you off the bench.
Yeah, not at all. I wouldn't be surprised because of how those guys work, and I think I've been pretty adamant about Merrill's growth, especially like as a defender connector for our team. That's part of what this team has really needed this year is mature veteran presence on the wings, and Merrill's starting to understand his role and excel in his role, and he's going to continue to get those opportunities, and I love the energy that he's bringing. Huddy, we knew with Venning, with how big he is, we knew this was a good matchup for Huddy, man, Huddy stays ready. You guys see his attitude, his energy. He's an elite teammate. He works really hard on his game. And so even when he hit that 3, like, I'm not surprised because I see him hit them all the time in practice. And then it obviously helps when you put Tommy and bring Marquise in off the bench. That's by design to bring, like I talked about the other day, to bring some pop in off the bench. And so just really excited with how our group competed, honestly. I told these guys with the way that we practiced, I think I might have talked a little bit about it after the game on Wednesday. But like, we went through the game, and there's obviously game plan things. Coaches aren't perfect, so things that, like, I think we could have did better from a game plan perspective. We gave up like 15 points where we were going under on guys, Perkins, Sincere Parker, and then we talked about the missed assignments from a game plan perspective, and that was 36 points. And I said, guys, if we just cut it in half, this is what Loyola has been. Is our game plans are never perfect as coaches, but we give up around 20 as coaches, and you guys give up around 20. And then there's, 10 to 15, maybe 20 points just out of the blue. I literally said this, and CT, you've heard me say this before. If we do our job, people are going to struggle to score 60. So the 2 times that I think we've been on it, for the most part, today in Clemson, two pretty good teams. They both struggled to score 60. And so I got to give our guys a lot of credit because they haven't quit. They've had a great attitude, and no matter what, they've still believed in the group.
Yeah, so during the first half, the same Bonaventure team shot about 35%. Coming into the second half, or finishing the second half, they shot 28%. So what was the conversation like in the locker room at halftime to make sure we didn't have any second half lulls?
I thought that in the first half, they had 6 second chance points. I know they had more in the second half, but we felt like, the second chance points were, and I mean, they still ended up with 17 offensive rebounds, but we didn't want to give those up. And they were 1 for 10 from 3 at half, and we wanted to keep the threes down. That was a huge point of emphasis for us, was Banks and Flowers, those 2 guys in particular. And so I thought we did a really good job. We knew Venning was a load. But the thing is, I think our doubles made Venning a little rushed. I mean, the shots that he was getting, how easy they were for him to go 6 for 12 from the court, that's he took 12 shots to get 16 points, which, it's kind of efficient, but at the end of the day, like, you look at a guy on our team, Tom Welch, it took him 6 shots to get 16 points. So, I'm just really proud with how we executed the game plan tonight, how we competed, and the intensity, passion, all that we played with was fantastic. And I got to give our guys a lot of credit because what they've been able to do, what they've had to do, hasn't been easy, especially for the way that this program is thought of, and especially how we think of ourselves in the program. And so, just really happy for the guys.
From my perspective, calling the game, it felt like calling a Valley game. I mean, it was very physical, slower paced, I mean, but you look at the defense, and I know that's been a calling card for you. I know you pointed out that the best defensive efforts this season have yielded victories. To that extent, and to that point, talk a little bit about Jalen Quinn and what he's added coming into that starting lineup from a defensive perspective.
Yeah, I thought he was incredible on Luke today. I mean, Luke is a guy that, like you talked about after the game the other day, CT, you know, he was, you know, averaging 13 a game, and that was JQ's assignment. And, I mean, he made it extremely hard for him tonight, and that's not easy for a freshman to do. And the biggest thing that I told him after the game today was I didn't think his offense dictated his defense. I thought he was still extremely competitive defensively despite not having a great offensive game. I thought the other night it was, you know, it's easier when your shots flow in to feel good about yourself and compete on the other side of the floor. But I was most impressed with JQ, how he didn't let his offense dictate his defense. And that's growth, because with him, it's all mentality, approach, and believing in himself, because it has nothing to do with his game, because he has game.
Cool. So looking ahead to this decaying team, so similar to St. Bonaventure, they have two lead guards to do the bulk of their scoring. So Day Grant and then also Jimmy Clark III. So what are our thoughts as we try to prepare for them?
Again, I watched them play, obviously, Bonnie's before. They throw it inside to Trey Williams and off the bench. That's a concern for me, because he's similar to like how Benning is. And then it's a similar style of play to what you saw tonight, a lot of screening actions for shots. And so we got to be on point with our switching. We got to be on point with if we're not switching, and then we got to be on point with our post coverage. And so we just got to make it hard. I think Braden does an extremely good job for the offensive load that he carries. I mean, he chased Banks around tonight, and he chased Jimerson around the other night. And so got to give Braden his credit for what he's been able to do on both sides of the ball.
Coach, finally, what can you do to ensure that there's a carryover effect to the momentum that was created here this afternoon into that game against Duquesne?
Understanding why you got to this moment. That's it. Just, you know, and not feeling like you've arrived. I don't think our guys, after how many games we lost, I don't think that they're going to have any false sense of arrival. But I do think that they'll have confidence in if we execute the game plan, and it just really just enhances our buy-in. And not that guys weren't bought in before, because I think guys have been extremely bought in. But it enhances it, makes it better, and it just gives them confidence that we can compete, especially because Bonnie's, I mean, they were in the top half of the league. I mean, they're 4-2 coming into today with some really good wins, obviously against Mason and Duquesne, two of the other teams at the top. So it gives us confidence. I'm really excited about what this could do for this group, but we got more work to do.
Yeah, it felt good. Let's go get another one on Wednesday.
Of course, thanks.
Thank you, Drew Valentine, as always, gracious to come on out and join us